so we can start. First of all, our today's topics are our new forms that are already available for you in your system, so I'm sure you've seen them. We will go through all of them, but our main focus will be on the new job form, because that's the form that got many changes, many updates, and obviously it's the form you use the most, so we will focus a lot on that. And before we dive into the practical thing and the forms, I wanted to share with you also the idea behind why we did these changes in the first place. What's the idea behind changing this? So obviously the new forms looks better. They are like modern, and the looks is improved. But the big thing is done kind of in the background. The technology we used when programming and redesigning the forms, because these forms, we are piloting the new front-end technology in React JavaScript that allows us to enhance UX, your user experience, with the OnSinch components with these forms. And what's the big advantage? It brings better usability across different devices, such as mobile phones and tablets, because obviously we know that you are a lot of time out there and doing the business on the phones. So it's a huge improvement in this area also. Additionally, this new technique brings us options to do automation testing and make then the level of quality assurance of the forms. And last but not least, it kind of opened the door for us to bring new advanced features to the system and take the OnSinch to the next level, such as timeline feature. That's like our big project in the pipeline for upcoming months. So I want to also give you kind of this overview in the bigger picture, what is happening in our OnSinch kitchen. And we can start with the forms. So I will start now sharing the screen. I hope it will. Yeah, I believe you should see my screen now. Yeah, David is nodding, so it's working. And we will cover 4 forms. The first one is company form. So we will go straight away to the company section when you are creating a new company. This form is currently in a status that by default you have the old form and you can try the new version, while still you can use the old one. So we will try the new version. You can see that we reposition some of the fields. They are grouped together more, let's say, logically, that we have the tab with the basic information about the company. We also mark the mandatory fields with the red stars, so it's obvious to you what you have to fill in order to save the form. In these new forms, we replaced checkboxes with these toggle buttons, and they are either turning on and off some settings or hiding and unhiding some fields. We have here also grouped like the invoicing settings, everything that's related to invoicing for this particular company. Here there is a separate section of creating a client, the contact person in the company. And if you are also using your own company attributes, they are listed as the last one. So this tab contains like the basic information about the company, and all the default things are now in the separate tab, where you can set everything that's default. For example, default tags, locations, some invoicing related default values, or requirements you are using when providing work to this company. This form is available when you are either adding new company or when you are editing existing company. So let's take a look to my company list, and we will try to here edit this company. So again, by default now we have still the old version, but eventually there will be this new version. The next form we redesigned is the staff member form, meaning when you as an admin are adding a new staff member in the system. So we will right away check on this. So I will click here on the add staff. Again, this form is currently by default still, like you still see the old version, and you can try a new version. Similarly, as with the company form, we grouped together the basic information about staff member with the mandatory fields again marked as red. There's a separate section about the addresses and the separate section where you set up the work, meaning the processes and everything that's related kind of with the staff member in OnSinch. I have here a list of all the professions I have in the system, and I can just click on each of them and choose what profession this particular staff member should have. There are banking information, and personal information and attributes are listed as last. And one change that came with this form is that in case you are using some personal attributes and you have it restricted for certain professions only, if I select here profession, the attribute will automatically disappear or appear. So in my case, I have for this manual profession in my agency settings, I have set up some attribute only for this profession. And if I click on it, it appeared here. So I know right away that this staff member should have this field filled. Or if I untick it, so the staff member will not have this profession, it disappeared. So it's a change from the last, from the previous form where you have to kind of get back and revise. This is the same as with the company form. This form is available when you are adding stuff or when you are editing existing staff member. So let's check our well-known here, Hey Helper. And if I go to edit this person, again, it's the same form. So that was second form. And our third form, and actually the first one we redesigned in this way with this new programming technology, it's the appointment form. So let me navigate here to the communication and the new appointment. This form is currently in the setup that you already see only the new one, but you still have some time to switch back and use the old version, but it will be retired soon. Similarly, as with the previous forms, we revised the position of each field so they are better grouped together. And here also came improvement here in this location section where you can just click and it will expand like a list of your locations with option to pick or to search. Before in the old location picker, you had to like write 3 spaces or 3 characters. So this is improvement here also. And here in this attendance settings for the appointment, we improved kind of the how clear it is what type of appointment you can create. So it's clear for all the users that might not be using the appointment feature so often that you can create the group appointment, meaning that all the people will arrive at the same time and it's group meeting, for example, as a training. Or if you select the individual, you will unlock here the option to set interval. and the staff members are going and visiting you at the set time they picked. This appointment form is active when you are adding new appointment form via this button, or when, for example, let me go to my upcoming appointments, when you are editing existing appointment, or when, for example, here in the history, I can create a new appointment by using the copy function, and I can copy the appointment. Here you can see there's kind of a new note, and also with these new forms, the forms are remembering your unsaved work. So meaning if you start creating, let's say, a job, and then go back somewhere else to the application, and then go back again and click on new job or new appointment, Sinch will now ask you if you want to start from scratch or if you want to continue with your unsaved work. So these three were the first forms. And we can right away jump to the biggest one, I think, and that's the job form. And we will together create like a sample job with sample shift and sample order and go through all the flow. So I will here go to create a new job. And again, this is the latest addition to the forms, and it's currently, again, in the setup that you can try it, but by default, still there is the old form. You know that this old form is, there's like everything is at one page. You have here the order information, job information, shift information, settings about transport and requirements. And it's kind of everything in one page. And also you can either just publish it or continue editing in the builder. And in the new version, so check it. Yeah, again, I was trying to create some job before, so I will start from scratch. And you can see this is our new form. We have split a creation of job, order, shift, and position to kind of a logical step-by-step things. You can see here that the first section, we are creating a job and order. Second section is all related to shift management and position management. And there is a new part, the third part, overview, where you can kind of check what you are about to publish or do some bulk changes. This was done also not to kind of more intuitively navigate how to create the jobs, but also it brings a big improvement when you are creating a job on the phones or tablets. So it's a kind of application style. So we will create a new job. So I will right away here select my company. Again, as all other forms, we have marked the mandatory fields, so you really know what is needed. Also, we divided here kind of this gray section, so it's more visible what is related to order as the biggest envelope in the system and the job that we are adding. We will create, call it Congress, really simple. As with the old form, you can here change price list or your invoicing address, set supervisor of this job, add some private description, or create new order with this job, or select from currently open available orders that are filed for this company and add the job to existing order. We also, in this new forms, hide some things that are previously displayed all the time, meaning, for example, explanation of price quotes or provisional order. So they are now here hidden under tooltip, so you can hover onto them and see what they mean, but they are not kind of distracting you in your work. Some of the fields also are hidden, but yet still you can for example, like this, order specification is by default not displayed, but you can, anytime you need, open the window. So I think we have now our Congress order and job, and let's say we will do it as a provisional order. As I was mentioning, the toggle buttons are replace the checkboxes, and we will go to next step, which is shift and shift management. Here also you have a list of all shifts that we will create. Currently there's only one. And the shift management itself got separate tabs. So it's again like user experience more friendly. You have like your basic information about the shift, requirements got their own tab, and transport. So again, you know again what you are editing, and in the phone, mobile phones or tablets, it's better. So we will just really generically create the first shift. As you are used to, you can choose the duration by setting the end or duration. You can include the break if needed. And as I was mentioning, we have this new location selection. So let's say we want to do proxy. Here in the right part, in your live systems, you will see, of course, the Google Maps of the shift. We can add here common tags for the shift. If, of course, if we would have set for this company default tag, it will appear automatically here. I will choose here, let's say this is a VIP event. And here comes the section of positions. And this is like the very big change with this form that previously, if you wanted to kind of build the shift with more positions, different professions, and some customization in terms of times, you had to go to the builder to do that. And with this new form, we kind of we are bringing you the things you can do in the builder right away to this new form, so you don't have to go in builder. I have here, because of my default agency settings, this two positions. One of this lead worker and one position consists of basic staff members. And using this add staff button, system will now show me a list of my professions in alphabetic order. So I can just easily add a new position with different professions. So in my case, I want the ambassador, one ambassador to be on this shift. And also I want waiting staff, and I want 2 people. So I will just here increase the amount of staff members. Another changes I can do here right away, again, without going to builder, to edit the role. So let's say I want the ambassador to be lead worker of this shift. So I will click here and change it from staff member to lead worker. I also want this ambassador to be a locked position, and I want to choose from applicants that would like to attend the shift. Here under the 3 dots, it hides like advanced position settings. So I'll click on edit, and I want to include the applicants. I want 15 applicants, let's say, to apply, and I want to lock the position, and I will save it. You can see that here the applicant's icon got kind of colored, so it's indicating that there are some applicants, 15 of them, and here the icons are indicating if the position is locked, or this eye representing if the position is hidden. I want also kind of specify this position of waiting staff, so I can use the title box and say I want them to be doing welcome drinks. And now I have here the first position, which is my former lead worker position. And but obviously I have this ambassador as a lead worker, so I can either here using the three dots remove completely the position from the shift, or I can change the role. And in my case, I want one standby position with profession hostesses to cover up for this position. Directly from here, we can create groups, meaning link positions together. And icon is indicating that the shift will be going a bit down. You can see that, again, as you already know, contact person for this shift, and the description for staff, meaning that's the public description of the shift that all staff members see. And under this show more options, we hide like advanced and other settings. So if I click on it, more tabs will appear for me, and these are description for lead worker, description internal for all admins, some settings in terms of time breaks or maximum time sign-off limits. I can set that the shift is featured and I want to activate attendance watcher. I want to receive email if everyone joins or leaves, and I can then hide the options. If I scroll up a bit, I have now set everything that's related to basic information about the shift, and I can continue in the requirement part, where you can see that, again, already the professions and positions I created before, it's already like there. So let's say I want my ambassador, my lead worker, to meet certain requirements. And I want my ambassador to have rating at least 2. So I will save the requirement rating. And here in the tab, you can notice a blue dot, and that's indicating that something is active in this tab. If I now remove the rating, the dot will disappear. Similarly, in the transport tab, you can decide if you want transport there or back or both. So we can, let's say we want transport there to the ship, and it will take 1 hour, and our location will be from our agency, and we will not provide transport back. And again, you can see this blue dot indicating that I have transport associated. Here in the list of shifts in the middle, you can create another shift by either clicking on add shift or via these 3 dots to copy it. So now everything fits, and I will remove it, let's say, very easily. Second shift, and now I have a second shift. I can, of course, change the date. So let's say I want it next day, and I will leave all the other settings as it is. Scroll down a bit for positions. I can see that it stays all the same, and also the grouping is already active. So all the people from the first shift will also attend the second shift. One thing I wanted to mention here is that you have also option to change the time of each position, because we understand that the shifts are not always just lead worker and group of staff members, but they consist of more positions, professions that are done in different time. So you can change the time. So in my example, I want my ambassador as a lead worker to be there earlier and to leave a half hour like late. So now I directly here from the form change the time of this specific position. This icon, filter icon, is indicating that position is somehow customized. And if I now scroll up for the shift level setting, which is here, you can notice that the dates of the shift gray, and I can no longer edit the superior line, which is the shift above the professions. This thing we call the conflict resolver, and it's present in Builder. So when you are editing in Builder some positions that has different times, the apps kind of notifies you or alerts you that you are trying to edit something that's not the same thing, and you can decide if you want to override the settings or not. So this thing is not currently active in this form, but we are planning to edit, so it will be there. And directly from here, you can either publish the job as it is, if it's just a simple shift and you don't need to go to overview, or you can here continue in the builder and do some advanced edits, or you can go to the first section, that's us, and that's overview part. In this overview part, you can verify, like double check if everything you are about to publish is correct. But also you can do a lot of changes here, such as by clicking on the active buttons, you can here directly change the profession or the role or add the title to some position. Or you can, of course, again, change the times. So here, for example, my ambassador from the first shift, I want also him or her to be earlier and leave a bit late. So I will change the dates. And you can see that it's a bit highlighted, so it's like obvious that there's something different. I can directly here change the number of stuff I want. So let's say I want more hostesses on the second shift. And I can also do changes using these checkboxes. For example, after all, I decide I don't want any standby. So I'll just select them like this and remove them. And they are now gone. Or I can use this search bar that it's similar to from Builder, where you can search by typing, let's say, title, and you can together edit the position. So I have here welcome drinks, and I check here that I want to edit all the positions, and I go here to edit, and let's say I want this position to be hidden because I know who I will sign up there. Save it. You can notice here in the right part that there is a little I that's indicating that the position is hidden. Like this, I can go back by deselecting and removing the keyword, and my changes are here applied. Or I can also here search by role. So in my system, the lead worker is called lead worker. So in your systems, if you, for example, have crew boss or any other title for the role, you will type this. And again, I have here the ambassadors. And let's say I want, again, edit them in a bulk way. And I want them to meet the requirements, meaning the applicants needs to meet the requirements. I can save it. And again, I go back and see all the shift. Or I can search by professions, hostess or ambassador. So it's similar as in Builder. Or I can also here, let's say, unlink. So for example, I want the ambassadors to be grouped. I want the same people to be ambassador, but I don't really care about the hostesses be the same people. So I can unlink, and you can see that the group name, which was B, disappeared. Like this, I can always go also back to the previous step using this back button or by clicking on the respective field here on the upper part. From here, I can do the publishing the job, or I can go to Builder, open the Builder as a concept positions, and do further changes, such as adjusting prices, wages, effects, or any other advanced settings. So like this, we will create a shift. And I think this was all I wanted to demonstrate you with this RMU form. We'll be happy to, of course, receive your feedbacks, not only when you are using it on the laptops, but also on the mobile phones, because I was mentioning that this is a big improvement. We would like to kind of encourage you to try to create your job on the phones and let us know if there's something you would like to maybe improve or everything. So we'll be happy to know your feedback.